Welcome back. It is the Saturday edition of Sports Live. And of course, in terms of the T20 World Cup, it is well into the Super 8 stages of the tournament. And the cream is definitely rising to the top. To talk to us about this, we have roped in a cricket analyst, Ayavuya Myoli, who is joining us in studio. Aya, this tournament really looked like it was favouring the batters earlier on, but what have you made in terms of the quality of bowling that we've seen, especially now that the action has moved to the West Indies?
Thank you very much. Thank you for having me. I think wicket, when they started playing the first round of the World Cup in America. So where it was more of a bowler friendly, by the way. I think there were not a lot of runs that were being scored.
Yeah.
I think also, and then they moved to the Caribbean. I think the bowlers have also been leading the charge. So in terms of T20 cricket, we have a lot of games. Like we just had the Indian Premier League now. It's always been better scoring big runs, 200 and 100 big high scoring runs. But now we've seen something different with this World Cup. I think the wickets are more on the favour of the bowlers. So there hasn't been a lot of runs. I think that's all part of the game.
Yeah, because that has been what has been really disappointing, especially because it was attributed to the drop in pitches that were in the US, which is why we weren't able to see those high runs that you speak of.
Yeah, I think it depends on the wickets. I think with the ground there were drop-in pitches that came from Adelaide. They put in I think, and it was in America for over 6 months or something like that, where they were preparing the wickets and preparing the fields. But it didn't work out as well. But I think the cricket was being played, and then I think one of the goals is ICC always wants to take cricket all over the world and market the game of cricket, which is a good thing. We would have thought that would be playing cricket in America, Cricket World Cup in America. So I think I'd say it's good. It's a good job from them and taking the cricket to other countries.
I want us now to bring it back to South Africa in terms of how we have performed.
Yeah, I think the guys have been doing well. They've won all the games. Yeah, some of them are very narrow wins, but I think I'd say a win is a win. And I think you've seen, like, now we kind of seeing signs of guys coming up, like of Quinton de Kock is starting to score runs. Kagiso Rabada is also a bit scoring runs, also is getting wickets. So guys are picking up and they're winning every game. So we'll take the wins and take it a game at a time.
Yeah, we'll definitely take the wins, because when you look at that, yes, we have been making history so far. 6 matches unbeaten in this T20 World Cup. And of course, when you look at the last 2 against England and the USA, Quinny has been the player of the match, half centuries in both of those. He really has been stepping up to the fore.
Yes, I think a guy like Quinton de Kock, you never write him off as a batsman. He's been playing, he's been our best batter for South Africa. So a guy like him, like I think when the pressure comes up, and then I think is a guy who will step it up for you. You can never write a guy like Quinton de Kock off. So I think he's getting the challenge and he wants to take it home for the boys.
It's the one thing that we are able to then commend Quinny in terms of his performance. But what do we then say about the quality of our frontline batsmen? Because they really haven't been coming to the fore. The likes of captain, Aiden Markram, and then you also look at the likes of Reza Hendricks. There's been inconsistencies with David Miller. What do you make of that?
Yeah, man, I think to find it out that those wickets are more bowler friendly. I think we don't have our typical South African wickets that like a ball is bouncy, ball is coming to you. So the bit slow wickets, and I think guys have to just adapt to the wicket. It's not going to be a big scoring World Cup where you're going to find scores of 200 and high hundreds and 90s. But it's going to have to, guys have to sweat it out. They have to grind to the wicket and adapt to the wicket and work hard. So I think how Quinn is leading the guys, I think we know Aiden what he can do. We know the likes of David Miller what he can do, and the likes of Stubbs and all the guys. Reza hasn't been doing well, but yeah, it's part of the game. But I think the coaches they're backing the guys. I think we never know. I think we're playing tomorrow against West Indies. Maybe it will be Reza's turn to score a big 100 or go a big 60. I think the coaches, the guys that have put into that starting 11 is the guys that they trust and that they back.
Sure, you talk about the match against the West Indies tomorrow, because we're not really quite safe, especially in terms of what it's looking like on the table. We need to make sure that we beat the West Indies, because the match between the USA and England, if it goes England's way, we are also in trouble. And that's because of the net run rate also, which isn't really favoring us at the moment. Let's chat about the permutations surrounding tomorrow's match. It's going to be a very early one, 2:30 in the morning. We're all going to be up to watch it. What are the permutations on Monday?
Yeah, man, I think now the guys just have to take it as a quarterfinal. So it can be like, it can be knockout stages for them now. So in the Super 8, they just should take it as a quarterfinal. If they lose against West Indies, they might be coming back home. So they should take each and every game now as a knockout game, and then try to win. I think they've done it to these few games these games that have won, and I think they should carry on and try to get rid of that tag that we always have.
We don't want to use the C word, of course. No. But then we also look at what happens now if they do move on to the semis. We just saw in this match, which just ended, India beating Bangladesh by 50 runs. Who would you want to see in the next stage between Australia and India?
That's a tough one. I think semis are tough.
Yeah.
So the guys just don't have to play the team. They just have to just know what they've been doing well, and backing themselves and trusting their formula, how they've been winning all the games, or just taking them to the semis. So it's not about who you want to play. I think it's just pitching up on the day.
Yeah.
And getting there and wanting to win it.
And it would be so great to win this, as we are about to host it in a few years' time. It would be great. Thank you so much, Aya, for making time for us. Unfortunately, that's where we leave it. I would have wanted us to chat about the bowlers, because we know KG, Rabada, and Keshav Maharaj, they really have been phenomenal. But that's where we'll leave it in terms of the Saturday edition of Sports Live. I'm Xoli Zondo. Thank you so much to the team that has made this program possible. Enjoy the rest of the viewing on the channel. Good night.